There are few names in the world of entertainment that have remained as joyfully infectious, as universally admired, and as miraculously enduring as Dick Van Dyke. A man whose name alone is enough to stir memories of musical numbers, heartfelt comedy, and that rare kind of wholesome magic that seems impossible to recreate in modern times. And now, as he approaches the unbelievable milestone of 100 years old, people around the world find themselves pausing, exhaling, and reflecting not only on what he has meant to Hollywood, but what he continues to mean to an entire generation of fans who grew up with him, laughed with him, danced with him, and now watch in awe as he defies age, illness, and even gravity with the same graceful mischief that made him a legend decades ago. Because seeing Dick Van Dyke today, nearly a century after his birth, isn't just remarkable, it's emotional, breathtaking, even surreal. And for many, it's like watching history walk and smile and sing in real time, like a living time capsule filled with laughter, tap shoes, and kindness. And it's not just his longevity that stuns people, it's the way he has aged, or rather the way he has refused to age in the way we expect. Because where most people begin to shrink into the shadows of memory, Dick has grown somehow brighter, louder, more joyful. His energy undiminished, his spirit practically glowing. And perhaps that's why people can't help but take a deep breath when they see him today. Not out of sadness, not out of shock, but out of sheer reverence. The kind you feel when you realize you're witnessing something that probably won't happen again. Because Dick Van Dyke isn't just old, he's one of the last living links to a golden era. A time of black and white television, studio musicals, vaudeville, physical comedy, and the kind of unfiltered optimism that made people believe in dreams again after the war. And as the decades have passed, and the world has grown more complicated, more cynical, more fractured, there he is with that signature grin and spring in his step, reminding us that joy is a choice, not an accident. And resilience is a dance you learn with age. And when people look at him now walking beside his wife, or speaking at an event, or suddenly bursting into song in front of a surprised camera crew, it's not just admiration they feel, it's something deeper, more sacred, like gratitude, the kind you feel towards someone who never let you down, who never gave in to bitterness or scandal or ego, who kept showing up decade after decade as the best version of what celebrity could be. And for those who remember him as the charming chimney-sweet Bert in Mary Poppins, or as the bumbling but beloved Rob Petrie on the Dick Van Dyke Show, or as Carrot-Dickus Potits in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, or even more recently, as the mysterious Mr. Dawes Jr. in Mary Poppins Returns, the experience of seeing him alive and well at nearly 100 is not just inspiring, it's healing. It's life-affirming because it reminds us that good things, true things can last. And they can shine even brighter with time. And the story of how he has made it this far is not just a story of genes or luck or medical breakthroughs. It's a story of attitude, of laughter, of movement, of love, of purpose. And it begins all the way back in West Plains, Missouri, where Richard Wayne Van Dyke was born on December 13, 1925. In a small town with little indication that one of the most cherished stars in entertainment history had just arrived. And his early years were shaped not by glamour or fame, but by family, by radio shows, by books, and by a boyhood filled with curiosity and rhythm. And when he began performing in school, and later took his act to radio and the stage, there was already something different about him. He wasn't chasing applause, he was sharing joy. And that subtle difference is perhaps what would carry him so far. And it wasn't long before he began making a name for himself, climbing from local gigs to national recognition. And then in the 1960s, everything changed when he starred in his own sitcom, The Dick Van Dyke Show, opposite Mary Tyler Moore, where his talent for physical comedy, his impeccable timing, and his relatability turned him into an icon, almost overnight. And though many stars burn brightly and then fade, Dick seemed to have found the formula for staying, for becoming a permanent fixture in American hearts. And that formula wasn't a secret. It was his unpretentiousness, his refusal to take himself too seriously, and his almost childlike enthusiasm for performing, which was never more apparent than when he danced beside animated penguins in Mary Poppins or built a flying car in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And even now, as he nears 100, he continues to remind people of the joy of movement, the importance of laughter, and the healing power of lightness. because despite personal tragedies, including the loss of his beloved longtime partner, Michelle Triola, and battles with addiction and depression, he has emerged each time with grace, humor, and honesty. And it's this honesty, this refusal to pretend he's perfect or ageless that makes his presence today so powerful. Because unlike the plastic smooth appearances of some aging celebrities, Dick wears his years with pride, with sparkle, with humility. And that's what takes people's breath away. Not just that he's alive, but that he's so beautifully alive. And every time a video circulates of him dancing in his living room, or surprising a crowd with an impromptu performance, or simply smiling with his wife, Arlene, who is 46 years his junior but radiates admiration and companionship, the world seems to collectively pause and say, look at him. Look at what's still possible, because in a time where aging is often portrayed as decline, Dick Van Dyke is living proof that aging can be an evolution, a crescendo, a celebration. And when he talks about life now, it's never with fear or regret, but with gratitude, with excitement, as if he still has roles to play, songs to sing, jokes to tell. And maybe he does, because if anyone could defy the ticking clock, it's the man who never stopped dancing. And even when asked how he maintains his strength and energy, he often laughs and says, just keep moving. A motto that's simple, profound, and backed by a century of joyful evidence. And so when people say, take a deep breath before you see him today, they're not warning you that he looks frail or different or diminished. They're preparing you for the emotional impact of seeing someone who has touched so many lives, still standing tall, still smiling wide, still being exactly who he's always been. And maybe even more so, because now every moment with him feels like a gift, every word like a treasure, every step like a miracle. And as he nears that monumental birthday, people around the world aren't just watching, they're cheering, they're remembering, they're thanking him in silent, smiling ways. And perhaps that's the greatest legacy of all. Not the awards or the films or the fame, but the collective warmth he has left in millions of hearts. The invisible trail of laughter and kindness and courage he has etched across nearly 100 years. And we can only hope when our time comes that we'll face it with half the grace, the charm, and the unstoppable joy of Dick Van Dyke. Tap the bell to never miss a beat.